Well guys, I finally have something that looks like something. The top, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from here, the top is coming together. It's open at the back at the moment. I think it might lace up at the back from what I saw in the pictures. I'm not gonna lie, I've been unwell today, and it's been a bit of a struggle, so it's taken me a lot longer to do things today than normal. Normally, like, since I've been to the specialist and I've been on new medication, I've been a lot better than I've been in the past. So, you know, I definitely am doing a lot better. So don't worry about me. But it is a bit disheartening and frustrating sometimes when you have a bad day, because I don't know if that means something else is going on, or, you know, I don't know. You never really know, but it's and then you do get so happy and sort of used to being well that when you have a bad day, it's a struggle. But anyway, I don't want to harp on that, because I don't want this video to be about me having a bad day. But yeah, it's just taken me a really long time to kind of get things done. I've been slowly pottering away at this project today. It's now towards the end of the day, and I've realized I'm gonna have to stop now. Like, what I need to do basically is make another one of these in the lining material, and then you like join the two of them somehow, which I don't exactly know how yet, but I'm hoping I'll figure it out. But I also realized that I'm gonna need the lace probably tomorrow, and the thing is that I've got to paint the lace with the fabric paint, and that takes a bit of time to set, and, you know, so that you can iron it. I think it says you're meant to leave it 24 hours. I'm hoping I can get away with like 12 hours, so I'm going to paint it now, and then iron it when I need it, so that I leave it as long as possible. And then tomorrow I'll make the lining version of this, connect the two. I think that comes after making the lining, and then I think the lace comes after that again. So hopefully this time tomorrow I will have some semblance of a top happening. We'll see. But I'll keep you guys coming along the journey with me to see how we go. But let's paint some lace. Well guys, it's the next day and I'm continuing on with the project. I've painted all the lace, and I was actually upset originally that they didn't have the, I think it's called Argonite colour in the Candescence, the Dora fabric paint, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised that I prefer the antique gold colour instead for this bit of lace, at least. I was sort of thinking originally I'll use that Argonite colour because that's what I used for the necklace. So, you know, on the part of the necklace in particular where the it's got the scepter, you know, head on it, of like that serpent swallowing the world, that's got that colour on it, and it's a real bronzy, sort of bronzy gold colour. And I thought, oh, I'd better match that, you know, to the rest of the costume. But I think it would have, I don't think it would have popped enough, like the colour of the lace. So I've painted all the lace. This has not been ironed yet. That's my next, well, possibly my next task, or I might actually do the lining of the top first and then iron all this lot of stuff. It's dry to the touch now, like I did it last night, and yeah, so it's dry. I think technically you're meant to wait 24 hours and then you know, iron it for 5 minutes to set it. It's been about 12 hours, which is why I'm thinking maybe I'll make the lining for the top first, and then I'll, you know, iron this, and then it'll be near enough to 24 hours, I think. I don't think it's going to matter either way, to be honest, because it is nice and dry. So yeah, so basically I'm going to recreate, it's all the same steps that I just did to make the top that I have to do for the lining, and then somehow attach them together and hope that it looks right. Also, I don't know what I'm doing yet in regards to the sleeves. I was going to do something or other to like either remove the sleeves or have them be removable, or have the top be removable easily, because I'm concerned about getting overheated. What I might do possibly instead, I'm not 100% on this, but I might actually wear some sort of top underneath, like a singlet top or something like that, so that if I really need to, I can take the top off entirely and, you know, cool down if I'm feeling a bit overheated. Maybe. Only just because, like, I don't know how confident I am to do sort of a removable sleeve situation or whatever. The other idea I had was maybe have some sort of zip or like buttons or something or other, so I could, you know, at the front, instead of it being something that I need help getting in and out of, so I could put it on and off. That was an idea as well. But, you know, I don't know. I'm still too novice, I think, to mess around with the pattern to that extent. Like, I'm looking at this pattern and I'm just thinking, aside from just literally leaving the sleeves off, I don't know what the answer is to that one. So I don't know. Remains to be seen how this progresses. You guys will see in the end how it progresses. And at this stage, I've got no idea. So yeah, there's that. Alright guys, well I've got Mavis dressed up here, and I've pinned the top onto her. I did feel a little bit like she's a life-size voodoo doll, which is concerning because, I mean, if she's a voodoo doll for anyone, it's going to be for me because she's my measurements. So, yeah, I don't know what to feel about that. But anyway, I just wanted to get an idea of like how it was looking on her, and possibly even do some ironing of it on her as well, because, you know, it's easier to do if it's kind of curved around something. It's looking okay. It's not 100%. And mainly that's because I got a little bit confused with some of the steps. Like underneath, like when it was inside out, it was calling for doing a, not a slip stitch, what was it called? An understitch, which I did have to Google to work out what that was. And like the understitch I thought was just on this part here, and it turns out an understitch is sort of just stitching down like the excess, like, you know, when you sew lines and you've got the seam allowance, it's sewing down the seam allowance, I guess a mil from the edge, and at least that's my understanding of it, and that's what the diagram seemed to suggest as well, so hopefully that's right. So anyway, I thought it was just on that part, then looked at the pictures a bit more closely and tried to kind of read the sentences again to sort of work out what they were, what was included, and got the impression that I think it actually is meant to go all the way around the neckline. So I was like, oh crap, I better pin that and sew that. So I did that, but I don't think my sew lines like lined up perfectly. And then somehow, I don't know what happened, but like like you're sort of meant to match the lining, obviously, with the top on the top, and you'd expect like sew lines and stuff like that would match up, and somehow this one doesn't, and everything else does. So I've no idea what happened there, and it is a little bit weird and puckery around this section. So it's not terrible. Like you wouldn't notice. You probably wouldn't notice unless you were really looking closely at it. Like no one's going to notice it on the night, at least, you know. I'm not happy with it 100%, but at the same time, I don't think I've got time to kind of start pulling things apart at this point and redoing them unless I have to. And I don't think that's sort of a have to situation. Plus there's going to be like all this lace on top of it anyway. So I figure like that's going to hide a multitude of sins, thank God. Yeah, sort of like the last one where I was saying, you know, if you see excess embellishment on it, then you'll know why. So yeah, I don't know, like when I hold this up and have a look, I'm like, you're not even going to notice it at that point. So I think I'm just going to go with it. I've got sleeves left to do on this one, and I did sort of talk about how I was thinking about not having sleeves or having them be removable or having the top be, you know, something I could take on and off. The more I think about it, and with the lack of time that I have, and this like kind of being my second ever, except for high school, which I don't really count because it was so long ago and I had so much help with it, but like this is the second pattern that I've done on my own, like full-blown pattern. You guys saw me do the first one, so this is the second one that I'm trying. So I think, you know, it might be a bit too much uncharted territory for me to try and adjust the pattern to either make the sleeves like removable or whatever. So I'm just going to go with it and hope that it'll be okay. I mean, like the sleeves don't go kind of all the way down. They sort of go halfway down and then floof out. So hopefully that'll be alright. And then, you know, it comes down a fair bit to in the boobage area. So, you know, fair bit of ventilation where the ladies are involved. So hopefully that will be okay. And I don't know, if not, I think what I'll do anyway is wear a top underneath, because I've had it happen before where I've been dressed up in something and like suddenly get overheated and really just start wanting to whip everything off, and you know, you don't want to get stuck without having anything that you can whip everything off just in case, because I do tend to pass out if I get overheated. So yeah, that's not what you want. Yeah, anyway, so I've got a little bit of hand sewing, and I've got the sleeves to go, and the lace at some point, I guess, is coming up. So let's keep going. Holy crap, I have a sleeve, finally. I had so much trouble working out how to put this sleeve together. I reread and read over the instructions so many times. I don't know what it was about it that I didn't quite get, but when I started putting the pins in and stuff the first time, it wasn't lined up correctly and it was looking weird, and then I was like, you know, do I turn this inside out or right way around? Not that I don't, like, I knew how it had to look, I knew what material had to be where, but I don't know, wasn't sure how I was meant to sew it. So I just had a lot of trouble. And then trying to do like the gather, which is not perfect at all. Like, it's not completely evenly distributed, I wouldn't say. But it's as good as I could do, and I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Like, it's not perfect, but it's looking alright. I did have to unpick a couple of things as I did it. Like, I kind of stitched over, like it kind of folded it on itself and I accidentally stitched over it, and then something weird went with the join of the lace there, and one part just folded itself out and I stitched over that. But I fixed that now, so yeah. But oh my god, I've got to do it for the other sleeve now. Oh, at least I kind of know what I'm doing, but oh my god, it's not easy, and this material frays a lot. I've trimmed this one so it's not so frayed, and I did a zigzag stitch in the end to stop any further fraying, but that kind of got in the way of being able to see what was going on as well. I think I had 2 lots of basting stitch that I left on there because like one that was there originally and then one that I put there to hold the gathers. Yeah, anyway, I'm a bit frazzled and I'm going to attempt to do the second sleeve. Alright guys, well here's the finished product for the top part of the costume. This took so much longer than I expected. I did have other things that I had to do in the middle, I guess, as well. So like, I started this costume a lot later in the piece than I did for the Goblin Ball. And I think that's added a huge layer of stress to the whole process. But also, I wasn't actually anticipating the lace being a hand-stitched situation. I don't know why I didn't think that. I guess I just assumed they might have incorporated that with some machine sewing or whatever. But it was attached, like, basically after constructing the top, you know, add the lace onto this. And, you know, lace on here as well. So, like, you can see there's a fair bit of lace on here. So it just took a fair bit of time to get it all attached. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I haven't, to be honest, I have not tried this on properly yet because I've only just put the eyelets on last night. And I did try and... you know, adjust Mavis. So I think Mavis is looking pretty good with the top on. It seems like it seems like it'll fit, but it's interesting because like the weirdly the boobs seem tight and the waist seems floaty. And I don't know if I'm just not adjusting Mavis correctly, but I actually was thinking it was going to be the opposite way around on me. I was using a bigger size because I thought, oh, the waist might not fit, and the boobs might be slightly too big, but it seems the other way around. I don't know. I have a feeling like it's one of those things that when you put it on, it'll sort of move about a bit. It's got the lace up back, so you know those often like there's a little bit of room for movement in that, and also it depends where it's sort of situated on your body to where it fits. You know, like if sometimes you need to pull it up a bit higher or lower or something to get everything to fit. I'm hoping that's the case. Because I've spent I have no time, like if this doesn't work, I'm not wearing it, you know, it's down to the wire. It's next week, I haven't started the skirt, it's insanity. I can't believe I've taken on as much as I have. It's far from perfect. There's definitely some little, you know, issues, I guess, like especially this part here where, you know, I had that issue with the, you know, break the seam and re-stitch it. I don't quite, every time I have one of those type of steps, I don't really know what they mean. I kind of wish there was a bit more information about that for a novice. I'm sure people who are used to sewing know exactly what to do, but my corners or whatever where you have to like break a seam, whatever that means, it always ends up looking kind of bunchy and kind of crappy, so it's like a little bunchy around here, which is really annoying. One of the strips of eyelets, like I pinned it in the right place, but once I stitched it on, it moved, and like, so it's slightly higher than it needs to be. You're not going to notice it really, but like I know I did it and it's kind of annoying, and I could have taken it off and redone it, but again, I have no time. And then just like little bits and pieces, I guess, it just could have been a bit neater. But having said that, the fact that it looks anything like the picture, I am actually really proud of it, and I think the colours look great. I think most of it turned out pretty good. I'm even not too upset with how I did the gathering. Like some of the gathers aren't fully evenly spaced out. I did have a little bit of trouble with that, but like they're not too bad. The gathers on the shoulders aren't too bad. Yeah, I mean, all in all, not too bad. So yeah, this is it. Soon enough you'll see it on me, hopefully, fingers crossed. And now I'm going to love you and leave you and try and start a mammoth skirt with a massive train with no time at all to spare. Wish me umpteen amounts of luck because, oh my god, I need it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching me try and put this together. And stay tuned if you do want to see where this costume goes, and then the crystal ball with me wearing the costume. And then for the rest of you, I'll see you next time in Faewood. Bye, guys.